Hello, what's going on? It's Doug Cunnington here, and we are doing the weekly live stream. So, welcome. Let me know in the chat where you're from, and let me know if you could hear me. We're just going to be answering some questions today. There's no specific topic, so I've generally noted it as keyword research, content, link building, and I'll answer whatever questions you want. One cool thing is this morning I recorded a couple new YouTube videos based on the most recent one that I published, which was about publishing 86 articles in 6 weeks, and I got traffic already. Now, the site was already existing. I've published a couple other updates so that you can follow along and go back to the beginning there and figure out what is going on with the site. Now, the cool thing with the most recent update is there were tons of questions. I created a custom report to track along exactly with the data and analytics for the new posts that I just published, because there were already something like 230 posts on the site. So if I publish 86 more, it's really hard to just look at the analytics and know like where the traffic is going and if I'm getting traffic on the new content. So I created this custom report. The good news for all of you out there, and for me, because I finished it, is I did a video that I'm going to publish tomorrow morning that shows you how to create your own custom report. I did it in real time. It took me 8 minutes and 21 seconds while I was talking through it. So if you take out the talking, you could probably do it yourself in, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. And you could, track whatever you want to track. So I break it down, show you exactly how I created the report, the way I set up the parameters, and then you can customize it on your own. So that's coming out tomorrow. If you're brand new to the channel, all that stuff, you may want to subscribe so that you'll get a notification and just keep an eye out, All right, Gaz is here. What's up? Daniel, Joanne as well. We have David, one of our moderators, and Word is also here. So thanks everybody for popping on. So it was good to publish that video and get so much interaction. I did ask people to comment, and that seemed to help a lot. I mentioned one video that I did, the one tutorial. The other one is just answering all the questions that came in. There were a lot of duplicate and that sort of thing, but I went through and answered all of those. And I'm not sure when I'm going to publish that. I may, if you go ahead and publish it on like Thursday or Friday, I'm not sure. May as well get them out while they're very timely. Another thing in the news here, which I don't really pay attention to the news, is there was a Google update last week, right? A core update that came out. It takes a couple weeks to roll out completely. They usually start in the US and then they roll it out to the other geographies and all that. But it started rolling out, I believe, last Wednesday. A few people mentioned that they've taken a hit. Most people said they haven't noticed anything at all. So the update that is going to be coming out, one of the videos that I just mentioned here with a Q&A, I do share there's a little bit of a hiccup, and I think it could be related to the core update, the May 2022 core update. However, it also corresponds to Memorial Day, which is a long weekend. So yesterday was Memorial Day, May 30th. So it's a long weekend. A lot of people were out for, a couple days. Maybe they took a 4-day weekend, and that can impact traffic sometimes. So it is unclear to me if there's any impact. Now, the good thing, and you'll be able to see it whenever I publish the video, traffic seems to have just like jumped back up after the little dip. So it makes me think maybe it was just a little anomaly, maybe due to the weekend. There's nothing weird going on with the traffic or anything like that. So you can ask questions here and we'll go through. I'll tell stories, random stories, most likely. I will mention you should definitely check out the podcast, The Doug Show. The Doug Show is where I talk about a lot of the same stuff, but I do publish things on the podcast that I don't publish here on YouTube. One of those was an episode yesterday where I talk about the March 2022 product review update that Google released. So I'm many months behind, but you really don't know what's going on with the updates until some time passes. All right, let's get in here and answer some questions. Thanks to David and Adrian, maybe on some point in the future here, helping out moderating in the chat. Hit the thumbs up if you're able to, if you like these. So a couple quick shout outs. Ezoic, they sponsor these live streams. You can get started with them with no page view minimum. You can check the link in the description. They do have a tool called Leap, and it helps your site load faster. Green and Core Web Vitals, all that good stuff. You got Otis Global, source for premium age domains. I'm going to roll a quick ad for them in a little bit. And then we have Niche Website Builders, and they sponsor these as well. All right, let's get to it. Thanks for the people that hit the thumbs up there. Wordmouth says, is it necessary to update content regularly? It's a really good idea to do so. The more people that I've been talking to recently, the more people I hear talk about how important it is to update on a regular basis, add FAQs, make sure things are up to date, add new information or new products if you have the ability to, if it's relevant, of course. And they're saying, put in at least half your time into updating the old content as much as you're putting in, to new content, which I like. Conceptually, I want to push back on that just a little bit because the thing is, if something hasn't changed, like, why would you need to go and update it? Some things do change, but sometimes they don't, and it doesn't make sense to do that. All right. Joanne says, guys, I wanted to meet you in the UK. Yeah, it sounds like it was a pretty fun affiliate gathering out there. What's up, Bradbury? What's up, Sam? And then let's go here. We got John on as well. Daniel's on. And yes, you got it, Alex. Good to see Alex in the chat. This is, my wife's been getting these sort of like custom t-shirts based on TV shows or movies. So this one is like, we say this all the time for no good reason. Where we're going, we don't need roads. And usually whenever I say it, there's nothing related to roads or going anywhere. I don't know why I say it, but she found this shirt, and we have a few others that are just random as well. Deep cuts, deep cuts that no one else would know. Zach, what's going on? We got Danny as well. Gaz says, does anyone actually know what criteria Google changed in the update yet? Not that I know of. Typically, it's the same old shit, right? So check out my last podcast. I talk about the March update, but essentially they like regurgitated the same stuff that they mentioned before. So it's generally like the same stuff, just more of it. That said, there could be other pieces of information that are released now, but I haven't heard anything specific. And yeah, Alex WP Eagle says, no criteria, just trying to make the search results better. Yeah, the same kind of generic, do a better job, high quality content. Probably something about no AI writers. All right. Gus says, I've noticed some websites creeping above YouTube videos now. Oh, interesting. Sonia says, what if my content is still ranking? Do I still need to update? The answer is yes. So I did an interview a couple days ago with a friend of mine named Rob Atkinson. He and I worked together on a pretty big project, and he actually started working on a site after he and I finished up our work back in mid 2017. So he started working on a new website. He just sold the website a couple months ago, and it was for a lot of money. So much that we couldn't even mention it contractually. He learned a lot of things along the way. One of them was around content, improving content, and just working on existing content. And one thing that he mentioned was there seemed to be, it's like a 6 to 12 month lag from what you're doing to when you get the results from Google. So my point, Sonia, is if you're ranking right now, you could be fine for a little while. But if you have a bunch of competitors that are working on their sites, they're publishing new content, they're improving their old content, in 6 to 12 months, there's a strong chance that you're going to be overtaken. So whatever you're doing right now, you won't see the results for a little while. So it's a little misleading when you're at the top. You may think, I don't want to touch anything, I don't want to break anything, but you still should probably be active and do things. So yes. All right. It looks like people can still hear me. There was just a little glitch there. Ninja says, I restructured some of my categories on my site and my traffic has now gone to 0. Is there anything I could do to fix it, or do I have to wait on Google? So what was your traffic before? And I guess my assumption is you're expecting that whatever you did to your categories will help things and you tried to improve them. However, is there a chance that something got messed up and that you need to fix it? So one way to test that would be to revert back to where you were before you made the changes and see if that helps. And if so, then there's something to it and you may need to adjust. But other than that, if you think what you've done is the right thing to do, then yeah, you can wait and see. It's weird that if you let's say you were getting 1,000 visitors a day and it went to 0, that's bad. There's obviously a problem, right? So you need to, address that and check to see if there's an actual problem or something like that. And Alex says 2 of your sites that are crashing, they don't have much AI on them. So Alex, you have some sites taking a nosedive here. I haven't noticed anything with my sites. A couple of my students have mentioned a dip. Some others have seen more traffic. However, there's always external variables. So one person that is getting more traffic, they just fixed some page speed issues and it seems to be helping. All right, it looks like Muhammad is a little bit late. So we just talked about the core update. Basically, it's the same thing as always. They're trying to provide better search results. There's nothing specific out there at this time. Paul, good question. Paul says, how long should you wait to update a post? Hold on, let me read this. How long should you wait for an updated post to go up in the rankings before updating it again? There's no set time. I would say if you have something to add to it to improve it, you can do that at any time. You don't have to wait for any reason. You can wait if you want to. Let's say you have a lot of content on your site and you need to sort of stagger it because you don't have the resources to continually update everything constantly. So if you need to stagger it, that's fine. But I would say if there's a way to update it and improve the content, you should go ahead and do it. There's no reason to wait. What's up, Robin? Good to see ya. And then Goss says, it's still early days for me, but analytics are moving upwards. I think I'm doing everything well. Good content by me, internal linking, and so on. Cool. Oh, and Steven asked a good question to Ninja. Did your permalink structure change with the categories? So yeah, good insight. And the thing is, yeah, when you change things, you may like just goof up the URL structure, and it, Google may catch up, but it's kind of sloppy if you've changed something and there's this wake of debris behind you. You need to clean it up. It's better to have the clean stuff behind you. John says, challenge of 3 sites. First site last year, 100 posts, has 8,000 visitors. 2 other sites began 1 month ago, pumping out 3 articles a week. Other that has 3 posts. You know what? You're going to have to rephrase that. Ask maybe one question at a time. There's a series of facts in there, and I'm not sure what to do with it. One observation just off the bat, many people will disagree, but one observation off the bat is just work on one site until you know what you're doing. If you're working on 3 sites, there's a good chance you're spreading yourself too thin, and that you're also making the same mistakes like 3 times in a row. And that is no way to do it. So again, people will disagree on this. They're like, fuck, build 10 sites and like spread yourself thin, like you can do it. I don't think so. Most people that I talk to that do really well, they drop everything else and they focus on one site until they figure out what they're doing, and then they take it from there. So, yeah, if you want to rephrase it, let me know. I'm not sure really what you're asking other than like what you should work on, but hard to say. All right, Ninja says there wasn't much traffic, 100 visitors a day. You had too many subcategories and wasn't happy with the navigational structure. So that sounds good to simplify it. I would say, as a tip for other people, having maybe a few, like 3 or 4 categories max is a good option. Don't use subcategories unless you're using these things as your own organizational structure. I would say if you're doing that, you can maybe use tags. So you keep things simple, and then maybe it doesn't even do anything on your theme. It just helps you organize. Fixing the navigational structure is probably a good idea. Chris says, when I read some of these questions, I really wonder what people write about. Yeah. Meaning, and why do you say that, Chris? Because there's so many articles that they publish or something like that. Sonia says, I noticed some competitors going for my keywords. What should I do to protect myself? Try to have better content. Try to have more thorough information that can help the visitor. And if you can, get backlinks. Backlinks will really set you apart compared to your competition, especially if they're just, copying you. Duke, what's up? Good to see you, man. My old blog is seeing a 30% increase. My affiliate site is still tanked since the latest product review update must be March. The old site was upgraded with page speed and Cloudflare. However, it has very old SEO. Interesting. So the old blog got a 30% bump, but the affiliate site is still tanked. Duke also says, I believe I found what happened to the affiliate site. You have to wait for a product review update refresh. Yeah, I wondered about that. Like if it's one of those updates where it's not a real-time refresh and they like do it again, or if you like slowly recover. I know when I talked to Marty with his site recovery, it took a few months to recover, but he like went back to basics and like, fixed the old SEO, improved things, added new images, all that kind of stuff. And it seemed to help, but it took like months for it to catch up. All right. And Honey says, one of my local websites in the plumbing niche is taking time to re-index. Should I improve the backlink profile? Yeah, that's what I would recommend. That's the observation that I see, or that is what I observe. And basically, I've talked to a bunch of people that don't worry about indexing, and they just publish their content and it gets indexed and it gets traffic. Usually they have quite a few backlinks pointing to their site. Sometimes they're totally natural backlinks. Sometimes they were earned through guest posting or whatever. But usually, if you have more backlinks, it seems like people don't have an issue with indexing or re-indexing or anything like that. Might Duck, what's going on? Josie says you were working on a bunch of sites and then you cut it down, and your goal for your one site is to get 50,000 traffic and then 100,000. Yeah, that's a great approach. I think it's so hard, right? Because I did this, right? So I worked on too many sites. So when you first get started, especially, you probably are doing keyword research and competition analysis, and you found like 5 niches you can get into, and you're like, they all seem great. I don't know how to choose, so I'll cut it down to 2 or 3. And it's really hard. You'll maybe try to put in some work, and you're thinking, if I do some work now, it'll get out of the sandbox sooner. And then I'll be able to have multiple sites and earn money like these other people that I'm watching that have whatever, like 10 or 15 sites or something like that. And eventually what I found was I was making mistakes in various places, and then I would have to go and fix them. But then the other part is it was very obvious that it was stressful. And as I spent my time spread across multiple different projects, I was making progress at such a slow rate. And I was like, if I just worked on this one site, I'd be able to publish like 8 times more content. And it just eventually made a ton of sense to just focus on the one site. And then as I've like worked on other sites and other projects, like it's just less stressful generally, and usually you make better progress. All right. And Worthy of Me says, I'm not sure if it was the Google update, but you got a spike in total keywords and search impressions. Cool. Yeah. Did you get more traffic as well? I mean, getting the impressions is cool, and that is probably like, the front runner before you start getting those clicks. Hopefully you'll keep moving on up. Anybody else see traffic changes or impression changes? Let us know in the chat here. And if you're watching the replay, feel free to comment as well. All right. John says, I recognize the challenge of creating 3 sites. It's getting hard, but I have a new site, easy to write content for, but I started last year, growing the other site, 0. Steven or Steph, it could be Stefan. Sorry if I messed up your name. I'll say Stefan. You have a new directory site, but you're struggling to get customers signed up even on free plans. Do I have experience or knowledge of blogging for a business directory site? I don't have experience. No. I have some knowledge about it. So it's a new directory site. So are people paying to be on the directory? Is that what you're doing? The one suggestion, this is like a marketplace idea where you need people to sign up, but you need people to also consume the people that signed up, the companies that signed up, I think. So what you might have to do is just list a bunch of people for free and then just put them up there, make contact, say, hey, I've listed your site. Let me know if this information is accurate. And then once you have traffic, then you have some leverage and you can approach companies and say, hey, this is on a site that is getting X amount of traffic. I'm sending visitors over here. Your competitors are getting visitors, stuff like that. And then you can use that leverage to get them to sign up. And maybe they would sign up on their own, right? They would hear about it from their peers and then they would sign up as well. All right. Sonia says you started making $100 per month with 30,000 page views from 50 articles. Is that okay, or am I underperforming? That seems okay generally. As a reference point, and I would point you towards the recent video that I published. I talked about the 86 articles that I published in 6 weeks and got X amount of traffic. That's a whole case study. So you could like compare what my site's doing to yours, and it's doing $600 a month from about 50,000 page views. So there is a lot more content though, but you can kind of look at that and make some assessments. There's a few other updates both on the blog and podcast wise, but I would say you're generally doing okay. The important part, Sonia, is how you're monetizing. So is it affiliate? Is it display ads? If so, who are the display ads with? I'm biased. I'm working with Ezoic. There's a link in the description. But generally, I would say you're in good shape, but maybe you could tweak stuff. So maybe you could tweak things. Boom Boom says, do I have friends from Bangladesh? A few, not locally here. I've worked with many people across the world. And back in Bozeman, we actually had a friend from Bangladesh, one of our good friends. Paul says, can too much internal linking hurt SEO, even if all the links make sense and are helpful? So generally, I would say if you everyone take off your tinfoil SEO hat, and if the links make sense and they're helpful, it should be okay. However, I will say, like anything, if you have too much of it, it could be harmful. So even if it's really good to drink water, but if you drink too much water, your sodium can get out of whack and you can get hurt. So I think there could be too much. I haven't heard of that specifically, but I think it's possible. Duke says the thing that's been puzzling about the site that's tanking is it only has 25% affiliate content, yet the whole site was hit. It has to be something site-wide that caused it. Man, that's weird. Yeah, and you hear about those and there's no specific thing that you can go and, in the way you do content, Duke, also, it's not like you were using AI writers, I would expect that. And then Alex mentioned the sites that he has that got hit, they weren't using AI content. All right. Chris says, if your content is value first, you will know when to update it, change it, etc. Trust me. Okay. Guys, I saw something recently that shocked me. Whilst researching my competitors for some keywords, the top two sites had separate articles that were identical. One had definitely ripped the other one off. Yeah, that sucks. That's crazy. You see that though. Yeah, we see we have a handful of people on, which is great. And guys mentioned it. If you do have the opportunity, hit the thumbs up. It helps people find the video and Google likes it or some kind of nonsense or whatever. I don't know. All right, I'm going to let my voice rest here just for a minute. Keep asking questions, folks. I'm going to come back and I'm going to roll this from Otis. Here's a quick word from our sponsor, Odys Global. That's ODYS.global. And they're the source for premium age domains with strong branding and powerful backlinks. The featured domain for today is US Army for Life. And this one is, one of the more economically priced ones. So it's certainly worth having a look at if you're on a budget. And it was about all things military with a focus on the equipment that has been used in the Army, as well as discussing events in the news, which could have an impact on military personnel. So it's kind of a lifestyle blog. And there was also a small section dedicated to hunting. The site was created back in 2016, and that makes it, 6 years old. So the domain rating is 12. And actually, it's dropped down to 8. I pulled it up over on Ahrefs just now, and the domain authority is about 37. So this is one of those where there's a pretty big discrepancy between Moz and Ahrefs as far as authority. Now, it looks like the website hasn't been touched in a few years as far as updates. So I would look to add new articles. And the thing is, you could really focus, I believe, on a lot of informational posts. Like I said, there's a lot of previous posts that were about just kind of lifestyle and things that could be impactful for people that have a military lifestyle. Of course, it's US Army focused, but I think you can lean into all aspects of the military. As far as there being a hunting section, I think if that is something that you're into, of course, it's not for everyone, nor am I suggesting that it's for everyone, but some people like hunting is a lifestyle and that is something they're interested in. So if that is the case for you, it could be a great way to explore and look at those topics that you're already thinking about, that you're already assessing, and you're already potentially writing about these, especially if you're like part of a forum or in a Facebook group or something like that. So that's another area to look at. Additionally, there's plenty of products related to hunting that you can write reviews on. There's great backlinks going to the site from iHeart.com, Popular Mechanics, Minds.com, three Deers, I think, and many, many more. There's 119 referring domains, and many of them are do follow, about 93 or so. So you can check out this domain over on Otis. And if you join using my affiliate link, I greatly appreciate it. You can get $100 into your account. And if you buy anything, I might earn a commission. So thanks a lot to Odys Global. And let's get back to the show. All right, so we'll get back and answer some questions. And if you have the opportunity, if you have a minute, visit the sponsors. There's links in the description. It helps out, well, lets them know that people watch these and then you go visit their sites. So even if you're not going to buy anything, hop over to their site. One great time to do this. I know a lot of people go to the bathroom. They browse on social media, but you can do something even more productive. Talk about multitasking. You can hop over to those websites, sponsors for the show. Send them a message. You can send them a chat or an email. Find out a way to contact them and just say, hey, thanks for supporting Doug. Really appreciate it. Just takes a minute and it goes a long way. All right. Alexander says, oh yeah, churning content out like mad on website, optimizing, let them rank, continue churning out more content. Yeah, that's it. Okay, and Josie also mentions that she feels much better just working on one site at a time versus a lot of them. So yeah, just having too many plates spinning, too many balls in the air, filling your own analogy, is stressful. It is just a stressful thing. Worthy of Me says you didn't get a spike in traffic yet, but it's a step in the right direction for sure. Okay, Stefan says there are paid and free plans, and you say that you'll give it a shot. You love the live streams, and you're from South Africa. Yeah, so I think try to just like feature the people, and that'll give you a reason. I'll use the correct words here. Feature the companies, and then it'll give you a reason to contact them, and then it'll open the door for dialogue and potential partnerships in the future. All right. And Chris says, in your opinion, it's better to look at affiliate marketing as a byproduct of valuable content or site. Affiliate marketing shouldn't be your business model, I believe. Yeah, I mean, this is a chicken or the egg thing. I think it's probably better for someone to understand how they can monetize at least, and maybe take the approach to like create great content first and then work on the affiliate portion later. One issue sometimes people run into is like they'll start a site in a niche that's so like specific, there's not much traffic even for informational content, and then there's not many products either, so they end up in a place where they can't monetize very well. However, I have an interview coming up. When is it coming out? June 6th. So about a week, with Monica Lent, and she started a travel blog, and she's doing awesome. She's doing awesome with it. It's a few years old, but she started it really as a hobby, as just a blog that she wanted to work on. And she's making over 10K a month now. She's doing it on the side. She has another full-time gig, and it's a travel blog. It's a travel blog, one of the most popular, more competitive. And Chris, she's literally just looking to create valuable content. She's gotten better as time has gone on. She understands about keywords and what she can do, but she looks at it in a different way than most people. And she's earning a lot more, and it's a much more kind of protected type of content because of the way that she writes it. And we get into all the details, and that will be coming out June 6th. So everybody, keep an eye out for that. All right. John says, if you have a site growing without you doing anything, should you put your eggs all in that site and add more content, though you love the other new site you started? It's easy to pump out content. It depends on your goal. Both of these are valid, John. So if you want to follow your interest, no one will fault you for that. You're going to be more enthusiastic. You may reach a point where that one overtakes it because of your enthusiasm and the effort that you're putting into it. But generally, if someone is asking for business advice and they're like, this is going really well, but I want to work on this other stuff that I don't know if it's going to work out. Generally, if your goal is to like make money, you should aim for what's working. So it depends on what you're trying to do. ASIM says, what's the maximum number of articles I've published on a website? I don't remember. I don't know. I feel like several hundred, but under 1,000 or so. And I'm trying to remember if I had any sites that had more than that. I think that's accurate. Between 500 and 1,000 articles, and I don't remember. How about you? For people that have like really big sites, or actually just if anyone has a site, just write in the chat how many articles you have on your site, and then maybe what your target is in the future. That'll just be interesting to see. Okay, and Sonia said something. I think I missed part of it. And you make a few dollars with affiliate, so it must be display ads mostly and then affiliate. Cool. All right. Made by Marcin says you started a month ago and you have 2 organic searches per day. How long does it take to have better results? All keywords are 0 to 4 difficulty on Ahrefs. You have 17 articles so far. How long does it take to get better results? It should get better each day. If you're already getting 2 organic searches, I take it visits per day, that's really good if it's only a month old. So it should keep increasing and getting better. And basically, the general idea is to put in a lot of effort in the first 6 months or so, and it'll take a while for it to pay off. It'll take a little while for it to pay off, and it'll be slow. So the first 6 months will be slow. It may even be the first year that's slow. But the fact is you're already getting a little traffic, and that's pretty good for 1 month. Let's see. We have Renzo Vet. What's going on? Boom Boom says, do I have any WordPress table content plugin to create links and let you edit them as you like? Yeah, there are plugins out there. I don't know. I don't use them, but if you search, you could find them. Bradbury has a great tip to drink beer between the water. Yeah, make sure that'll help you get the electrolytes you need. Yeah, so there's a ton of WordPress plugins. Funny enough, I don't use Gutenberg, but I think a lot of people do. I think you could do tables in that, right? And then you can edit whatever the fuck you want. And yeah, maybe check that out. Def Gray says, if I'm new, what type of content do I need to attack ASAP? Informational, I would say. I'm not 100% sure the context of what you're asking, but if you're asking about publishing, informational is probably a great approach. Duke says there were 4 things I changed that were on every page, even if they were not affiliate. These could possibly flag the content as affiliate. The header menu had 20 buying guide mentions. Oh, interesting. And did you do that to get a shallow click depth, perhaps? Duke also mentions you had 20 review mentions, XYZ buying guides, ABC buying guides, etc. Same with reviews. Also the affiliate disclaimer at the top of the content on every page, and Amazon affiliate in the footer. Yeah, I guess that could be something, especially the header menu. That seems like it could be a lot. And then we have Mohammed says, can we diversify anchor text for internal linking? Sure. Yes, you can. And people like the multitasking idea. Yeah, I mean, you get your phone in there anyway. Just everybody be honest about it. All right. AppFi says, any internal link building plugin advice? Yeah, there's one called Link Whisper. A couple of people had mentioned it. I'm an affiliate. I don't think there's an affiliate link in here, but if you go to my site and look up internal linking, if you go to Niche Site Project, there's a little tutorial, some information about Link Whisper if you want to get more. John says, oh, and John sent over some money. All right, that's great. 10 New Zealands. So I think that's good. That'll buy a beer. Thanks, buddy. All right, how to locate competing websites, top keywords without the use of expensive tools. Can you do effective keyword research with the absence of sophisticated tools? So you can Google the term, see who's ranking, and then just keep a log, right? You can keep a log. The other option, which might be better, is go to Fiverr or go to Upwork and hire someone to pull reports. You probably can get the information that you need with a few reports without having to pay for, $100, $200 a month or whatever. You can get the exact reports you need. There'll probably be enough information in there so that you can move forward, and then you won't have to pay for the tools, and then you can, get custom reports again in the future. You've already worked with someone, so you could potentially work with them again because you can get those reports. So that would be the shortcut. And I don't recommend like a group buy. Some people mention it in the chat occasionally. Group buys are not an ethical thing to do. And, generally, if you hire someone who has access, that is a legit way to do it. They're consulting, they have access, they can pull the report for you. And technically, from what I understand, I think that's okay because it's like hiring an SEO consultant and you're asking them for some advice and they say, oh, here's a report with information that you need. Tony's on from Simplified Guardians. Tony, right? You emailed me the other day, so good to make the connection. I think maybe we emailed before, but it's been a while. And Pastor Duke says, I would use tags and related posts rather than a plugin. Good tips. Gus says, how much importance would you place on what anchor text says on an internal link to another article? I think medium to high importance. So you can control that anchor text. You may as well put exactly what you need it to be in there. And you could change it at any time. With these external links coming in, you don't have as much control. So you may as well control the ones that you can control. And I would put importance in it. You don't want to go overboard, but you have a lot of leeway. I think you could probably use a whole lot. I'm not going to give a percentage, but I think you could probably use a whole lot of exact match anchor text, or very close to exact. All right, some people are mentioning how much content they have. Simplified Gardening says you have 624 on the main site, 245 on the second, and 68 on the third. Very nice. And I think I got to your question, John, but let me know if you have follow-ups at all. Daniel has 175 articles in a list of over 1,000 keywords, so you're aiming for 1,000. That's awesome. And Duke says site 1 has 500 articles, site 2 has 810. And John is reminding everyone that WP Eagle starts in a little while. Well, we got a nice set of people here, about 50 folks, and yeah, we're gonna wrap up in about 12 minutes here. I'm gonna go work out, take a little break here. Let's see. Diogo says, what's the advice to establish expertise, authority, and trust on your money and your life blogs? So I think I have a podcast on this topic. So if you go to the Doug Show and search for your money or your life, I think you'll find a podcast on that topic. Number one, if you have expertise yourself, that's probably the best way to do it. If you do not, I would interview people that are experts in the industry, and then you kind of borrow their authority and expertise. If you're lucky, you'll get some links from those folks too. Maybe they're academics and they can link to your site. But you could borrow the expertise of others by featuring them. You can do an interview. You potentially can just have an article written which references them and mentions them. It's great if you can have them on there where it's their actual own original words. David, what's up? You say every time you come on, you see the video quality gets better and better. Thanks. There's a lot of lights, just a lot of lights in here. And Duke says, I did the menu. This is referring to the previous comment. You did the menu From before, you could have just had, without thinking, you could have had one buying guide mention, but you called each category XYZ buying guide. So you just pull the category names into the header. Gotcha. And Rich's Domain says you tried to sign up at Otis, but it doesn't like your Couch email address. If you're able to shoot them an email, let them know. I'm not sure why it would give an issue. Top Best Secure says, how many articles do I need to write for each category? That's totally up to you. There's no minimum or maximum. And Tony says the studio, the roof looks like a shipping container. Yeah, it sure does. It's just so I'm in the basement. So those are like the flooring supports, or what do you call them? Not rafters, flooring joist. So yeah, they come down like that, and it, visually it just looks unfinished, but it makes for a really good studio because there's no like flat surfaces. There's all these small little nooks for the sound to go and not bounce back. There's concrete floor here, but there's I got a rug and a couple other things to help minimize that. But even without the rug, it wasn't echoey in here. There's also insulation on the walls, and then I have the sheets up there. It's like just fabric, but there's like insulation that's a few inches thick. There's no echo down here. It's great to record. Okay. Let's see here. Guy says you're checking the incoming backlinks on your site. You've noticed you've gained some organic backlinks from non-UK, non-English speaking websites. Should that worry you? Probably not too much. I wouldn't worry too much about that. They're probably spammy, but if they start accumulating, then you can disavow them if you want to. But, I would go check them out. And if they look like they're totally terrible websites, then you can maybe do something about it. It's good to keep an eye on it, but usually Google's pretty smart to not count those bad backlinks. However, if it just goes on and on, it could eventually be a problem. So, any more questions out there? I know Alex is going live in a little while. He's coming up pretty soon. And I see Rich's Domain says it is a Gmail address. So that is odd that you're running into an issue with the Couch email address. I don't know. I can't remember the sign up process, but is it just kicking the email back? That's kind of odd. But anyway, if you're able to reach them on their support, then that'll be an easy way to hopefully get some help. They can let you know what's going on. John says, have a workout, protein shake, a beer, and walk the dog. Yeah, I'm going to be doing like all of those things pretty much. As we're wrapping here, I will mention the sponsors again. So we have Ezoic. They're great. I think I'm going to be actually visiting their office before too long. And then we have Otis Global, premium age domains, and niche website builders. I'm working with them on this 200,000 word case study. I published 86 articles so far, got traffic almost within days. Watch the video I published last week, and you can see just how quickly the traffic showed up. I published the articles on like April 4th, and then you could see traffic showing up just the next day, basically, and traffic has grown since then. The new articles are now bringing in something like 200 to 250 visitors per day, and it seems to be growing. And I'm just publishing more and more. I just got the third batch. Unbox says, would AdSense approve your 1-month-old blog? I'm not sure. Maybe. What are other ways to monetize? Yeah, you can go to Ezoic. That's one. You can check that out. That's generally going to pay off more. And they also have a new sort of product line that's kind of like the equivalent of AdSense, and that is called Basic. I think it's over at basic.website. Hmm. And Pastor Duke brings up a good point. A natural backlink profile has a certain proportion of crummy backlinks. That is true. And Gaz mentions the Empire Builders Seminar. So I think a lot of people have signed up. I'm speaking there. I sent in my video the other day. I talked to Alex, we're sending messages. Was it yesterday? And he just sent in his video too. So yeah, it should be a good summit out there. And you could follow the link over to Niche Website Builders in the description. Sign up for that free summit. All right, I think we're wrapping up here. So good session today. I do these each week. Generally, same time, same place. I may take one or two off over the summer here. I'm going to see how it goes. But yeah, we'll catch y'all tomorrow. I'm doing the Niche Lifestyle Show. I always forget. Too many shows. Niche Lifestyle Show. Pretty sure it's on Alex's channel tomorrow. That sounds right. Alex's channel. And I think we're talking about how to start a business, online business with $100. So I'm on there with Mark and Adam and Alex. I'll be over on his channel. All right. A Nomad Overseas mentions, J. Paul, what's up? Yeah, the new case study video seemed to blow up. Lots of comments. Yeah, I asked, and it was such a short video too. And I know that's key. So I'm trying to aim for some under 10-minute videos here. A Nomad Overseas says you started a new site a while back and submitted it to Ezoic with 7 or 8 posts. They rejected it with a message about thin content. Does it need more articles? Potentially. Potentially it does need more articles. However, I have heard of people being rejected with, quote, thin content for content that was, for whatever reason, deemed not as thorough or maybe even original. I've heard some people get rejected due to, I don't know if they call it non-original content, but sometimes if it's highly derivative, then people can run into an issue. But I would say you can add more content, potentially reapply in a few weeks or months or however long it takes. Okay, sounds good. And if anybody was joining late here, I probably should have mentioned it before. Got a couple cool videos, to Jason's point about the case study video. I'm publishing the custom report tutorial. Publish that tomorrow. And then later on this week, I have just Q&A. I cover all the questions that people ask in that